welcome back. I'm Stephanie Yin. In our last videos, we have talked about the basic rules of Go. So in this video, I'm going to teach you a very important concept, life and death in Go. Okay, so what is a life and death? And why is a life and death very important? So basically, life and death is how do we protect our group from attack? So in a life and death, making an ice is very important. So once a group of stones surround one space, at least one space, that's called eye. If this group of black stones surround two spaces, that's also eye. If it surrounds three spaces, that's also eye. So why do we need two eyes? A living group needs to have two eyes. As I mentioned it before, making an eyes or making a life is to protect our group from attack. So if we only have one eye, and when I'm get surrounded by white, is this an illegal point for white, or that's a capture move? The answer is that's a capture move, because this black stone is already surrounded by white, and this group only has one liberty left. So once a stone blocks the last liberty, it can capture the entire group. So if we only have one eye, that's not enough, or that's not good enough to protect our group. But if we have two eyes, like this, even though we get surrounded by white, when we have two eyes, is this group will be in danger, or we're totally fine? So if this group gets surrounded by white, is white able to play this? The answer is no, because that's an illegal point. That's not a capture move, because this group still have one liberty left here. And what about this spot here? Is that illegal point or a capture move? The answer is it's also a legal point, because this stone doesn't have any liberty left, and this entire black group has one liberty left. So that's not a capture move. So that's an illegal point. That means white can never play either here or here. So in other words, this entire black group always have two liberty left. So white can never kill this group. So making two eyes will secure our group, because when we get surrounded, we always have two liberty left. Okay. Okay, so when we get surrounded by our opponent, we already know we have to have two real separated eyes, and these eyes have to be real eyes. So what's the difference between real eyes and false eyes? So the real eye can never get captured, but the false eye will eventually get captured by our opponent. So if I replace this white stone to black, is this group alive? That means, are these two eyes are real eyes? The answer is yes, because white can neither play here, that's an illegal point for white, nor here, that's also an illegal point for white, because there's no liberty left for the stone. But if I replace this black stone to white stone, my question is this still a live group, or it's not yet, or it's dead? Okay, let's try it. Like I mentioned it before, the real eye can never be captured or destroyed, but the false eye will eventually get captured or destroyed. Is white able to play in this real eye or false eye? The answer is no, because that's an illegal point for white. So that means this eye is a real eye. But how about this eye here? The question is white able to destroy the eye here? Is this a capture move or an illegal point? The answer is that's a capture move, because these three black stones only have one liberty left. So since white blocked the last liberty, white captured these three stones. So after white destroyed this false eye, and we will see this entire group only has one eye left, which means there's only one liberty left. That means next move, white is able to capture the entire group. So in conclusion, if the group only has one real eye, that's dead group. So according to the rule, this entire group is already dead. In other words, it's already trapped. So at the end of the game, we're going to remove all of the stones as the dead stones. So you don't actually need to use the 2 moves to capture. They're already dead. Okay, and so since we already talked about the real eyes and the false eyes, let's talk about the basic shapes of life and death. Okay. Okay, so if we have 2 space inside of this shape, is this a 1 eye or 2 eyes? A lot of people say, I have a 2 space, so it must be a 2 eyes. But the answer is no. A living group has to have a 2 separated eyes. It can be connected. So if we have a 2 space connected, that's called a straight 2, which is a dead group, because this black group doesn't have a 2 separated eyes. So why is this group a dead? Let's try it. So if it's black's turn, black cannot play somewhere outside the group, and there's only 2 spaces left on the board. So if black goes here, that move actually kills one of the black's liberties. So the next move, white is able to capture. So that's not a smart move, obviously. And it would be the same thing if black plays here. That's also the reduced self-liberty move. And now white is able to capture the entire group. So then black says, okay, I can play these 2 space, then I will play somewhere else, and you have to show me why this group is dead. And then white won't play any move outside because this group is already surrounded. But let's try inside. If white goes here, it looks like it's a very bad move because that stone will get captured. But after this stone gets captured, let's look at the entire black group. This group only has 1 liberty left. That means white will be able to capture the entire group. So if we have a straight 2, this group only has 1 eye, then it's a dead group. But what about I have 1 more space inside? This shape is called straight 3 because we have a 3 space inside and it's a straight. Is this already alive or you need a move to make alive? The answer is black still need to use a move to make alive. If black goes here, it will be the previous question we talked about is a straight 2 is already dead. And if black goes here, is also straight 2 is dead. So black should take the vital point in the middle, which will help black to make alive. Now black has 2 eyes. And the question is, are these 2 eyes a real eyes or false eyes? So let's try it. If white goes here, it's an illegal point, then that's a real eye. That's an illegal point because it doesn't have any liberty left. And this move is also an illegal point because it doesn't have any liberty left. That means these 2 eyes are real eyes. So the straight 3 is already alive after black played the vital points here. Okay, what about it's white's turn right now? Is white able to kill this group or not? So since we have 3 spaces inside, so one of the moves will be correct. So let's try it. If white goes here, it looks like not a smart move because that will get captured. And after black captured, black has 2 eyes. And white goes here, it will be the same thing. When black captures, black has 2 eyes. So there's only 1 choice left on the board, which is in the middle. That's also a vital point. So after white goes here, if black is trying to make alive, black has to either go here or here. But no matter where black is going to go, there's always 1 liberty left. So the next move for white white will capture black. If black goes here, that would be the same thing. White will capture in the entire black group. So that means if white takes the vital point here, the straight 3 is dead. Okay. So since we already talked about straight 3, let's change to different shapes. What if I have a bend shape and it's also have a 3 space inside? What do you think about this move? What do you think about this question? Is it already alive or black need a move to make alive? The answer is black still need a move to make alive, which is very, very similar to the question we talked about. In the middle is a vital point. So after black goes here, black has 2 eyes. So if white places the vital point here, black only has 1 eye left. Okay, so the bend 3 is also whoever goes first will have an advantage. If black goes first, black is able to make a life. If white goes first, white is able to kill. Okay. All right, so we already talked about the bend 3 and straight 3. What about I have one more space? And it's a square. It's a squared shape. What if I have a squared 4? I have a 4 space inside and it's a square shape. The question is black need to move to make alive, or this group is already alive, or is already dead? So there are always 3 types of life and death. The first is already dead shape. The example would be straight 2, because no matter where you go, it's already dead. You can't help with that. And the second type is a sente live and a gote die. So what is sente? Sente means you go first, and gote means you go next. So sente live and gote die means if you are sente, for example, in bend 3 question. So if it's black's sente, black goes first, black is able to take the vital point and make a life. If black is a gote, which means white is a sente now, and black goes next. So white is going to kill this group by playing the vital point here. So the third type is already alive, means no matter who's going to play or your opponent is going to play, your opponent can never kill that group because he's already alive. So my question here is, what about this shape? Is it already dead, already alive, or you need to move to make alive, which is sente live and gote die? So let's try it. Probably white will say, okay, I think this shape looks like a dead shape. So you're gonna play. Let's see whether you can find a vital point and make it alive. Okay, so since we have 4 spaces inside, so we'll have to try one of them. So let's try here. If black plays here, what does that shape look like? Do you think it's very familiar? Yes, that's a bend 3. We just talked about it. And now, since black played the move, it's white's sente. So white is able to play the vital point to kill black. So that means black cannot make a life by playing here. But what about playing here? It will be the same thing. It will be a bend 3 again. And here is also a bend 3. And what about here? That's also a bend 3. So square 4 is already dead shape because no matter where black is going to play, it will be always a bend 3. And now it's white sente. So white can kill the bend 3 by playing the vital point. Okay, so this is very important because sometimes when you see my group has more spaces, and you will automatically assume that group is alive, but that's wrong. So the example between the bend 3 and square 4 will be the best example for you. So we still have to use our reading skills to read whether the group is alive or dead. Okay. After the square 4, let's try a different 4 space question. Okay. So this shape is called a pyramid 4. It looks like a pyramid. It has 1 more space than bend 3. So the question here is it already dead or already alive, or you need to move to make alive? Okay, the answer is that's a sente live and gote die question. So black needs to find the vital points to make it live. Okay, and then where is the vital point? Is it in the middle? The answer is yes. If black plays in the middle, black has 3 eyes right now. So that's obviously alive. You only need the two eyes in order to make this group alive. So that's the vital point for black to make alive. Is it the same vital point for white to kill? The answer is yes. Because after white goes here, no matter where black is going to play, it will be either straight 3 or bed 3. And white already got the vital point, so it's already dead. All right, so the pyramid 4 is the center, live, and go to die questions. Okay, so let's move to 5 space question. Okay, maybe we're gonna do this one first. Okay, we have one more space on the bottom. Okay, so this shape is called cross to 5. It looks like a cross. So it's called a cross to 5, or some people like to call this a flower 5. It looks like a flower. Okay, so the cross to 5 has one more space than pyramid 4. Then, is it a already dead shape, or need to move to make alive? Or is it already a live shape since I have one more space? The answer is black still need to move to make alive. Why? I already have a 5 space, but why do I still need to play a move to make alive? All right, let's try it. So if black plays in the middle, black has 4 eyes. So obviously this is alive. But if black says, no, I think I'm already alive because I have 5 spaces already. And then black played somewhere else on the board, and white take the vital point. And now black has 4 spaces left on the board. And then black says, okay, I might be able to make it alive. And let's try it. If black plays here, what does that shape look like? It will be a pyramid 4. We just talk about it. And then white gets the vital point. So this shape is already dead. If black goes here, that will be a pyramid 4 again. And here, and here. It's all pyramid 4. So that means if white take the vital point here, this cross to 5 is already dead. Okay, so after we talked about the cross to 5, let's move to that's called bulky 5. It has another name. It's called knife handle 5. Looks like a knife, and this is the handle. So some people like to call this knife handle 5. So what about knife handle 5? I still have a 5 space inside. And the answer is black still need to move to make a life. That's a center live and go to die. So then where is the vital point then? Which is here. So if black plays here, black has 1 eye, 1 big eye on the top, 1 small eye on the bottom. So that group is alive. If white takes the vital point here, and if black still tries to make alive, if black goes here, that's a pyramid 4, it's dead. If black goes here, that's also a square 4, it's dead. If black goes here, now white needs to move to kill, which is here, because if white doesn't play there, if black blocks down the top, black has 2 eyes. So white needs to move to kill it here. All right, so after we talk about bulky 5 or knife handle 5, let's move to a 6 space question. Okay. Maybe I'm gonna make it like this way. Okay. Okay, so in this question, and this shape is called a rabbit 6. It looks like a rabbit. The question, okay, it's here. We have a 6 space inside. Okay, so the reason why it's called a rabbit 6 because it looks like a rabbit. Maybe it doesn't. These are 2 ears, and this is the body. So that's why people like to call this rabbit 6. So since we have 1 more space inside, that's 6 spaces already. What do you think? Is it already alive? Do you need to move to make it alive? Or you still need to move to make it alive? What do you think? Okay, the answer is black still needs a move to make it alive, even though you have a 6 space inside. Okay, so the vital point is always in the middle, so which you can obviously see 2 eyes immediately. That's always the vital point. So after black plays here, black has 1, 2, 3 eyes, so it's alive. But if black doesn't play there, and if white takes the vital point, and if black goes here, that's a cross to 5, it's dead. And if black goes here, that's a bulky 5, and white gets the vital point here. If black goes here, that's also a bulky 5, and the white gets the vital point here. So no matter where black is going to play, it will be always one of the death shapes. We have already talked about it. So the rabbit to 6 is also a send to live and go to die question. Okay. All right, so these are pretty much all the send to live and go to die questions, and plus we already talked about already dead questions. So now let's move to already alive questions. Okay. All right, so I made a bend shape, which is very similar to the previous question we talked about. Bend 3, remember? Whoever gets the vital point will either kill the group or make the group alive. But what about I have bend 4? I have one more space. I have a 4 space. We're talking about rabbit to 6. I have a 6 spaces inside, but I still need to move to make alive. But what about I have a bend 4? Do you need to move to make alive, or it's already a live group? The answer is bend 4 is already a live group, because in the already alive group, there are always 2 vital points. That means if white take one of the vital points, you're going to play the next vital point. So that means your opponent can never kill you. If white goes here, you are able to block the eye on the top. So that's 2 eyes. So bend 4 is already a live group. You don't need to play actual move to make a live. What about I have a straight 4? The 4 space is inside and it's a straight. That's also already a live shape, because like what I mentioned earlier, there are 2 vital points. If white goes here, you're going to block on the top. There are 2 eyes. If white goes on the top, you're going to block on the bottom. There are 2 eyes. So the straight 4 is also already a live shape. Okay, and then we have last already a live shape question. It's called rectangular 6. It looks like a rectangular, and it has a 6 space inside. So rectangular 6 is also already a live shape, because it has 2 vital points here. If white goes on the left, black is going to block on the right. And if white keeps playing on the top, black is able to make the eye on the bottom, so it has 2 eyes. But same thing. So black is always able to get one of the vital points. If white goes on the top, on the right, and then black is going to play on the left, and then it'll be same question, which is same picture, same variation we just talked about. Okay, so the rectangular 6 is already a live shape. So remember, if the shape with more than 6 points, no matter what shape is always already alive. So if the shape with a 6 space inside, it depends on what the shape looks like. If the shape is rectangular, it's already alive. But if the shape is rabbit to 6, like this, looks like a rabbit, that means you still need to move to make it live. Okay, so that's pretty much all of the basic life and death shapes. So go back and practice all of these shapes on your board. And then if you have any other questions, you can go to our website or Facebook, and we'll be happy to answer any questions. Okay, so I will see you next time.